So pit, oh yeah, yins are crazy.
What is good, crazy Yinzers? Welcome into another episode of your favorite Steelers show, the Chris Wormley Show, brought to you, of course, by yinzercrazy.com. I am at Mic'd Up Sports One. He is at Jordan York Music. Together, we're just a couple more crazy Yinzers trying to make a dent out here in the Pittsburgh sports world. And helping us do that, of course, is Steelers defensive lineman Chris Wormley. He'll be with us in just a few moments. But first, JY, we want to talk about something really special that we have coming up, which is the Chris Wormley Show Live. This is on Tuesday, November 16th at Cafe Note on Ohio River Boulevard. They are a terrific establishment, delicious drinks, great food. It's going to be a great time. Tuesday, November 11th from 6 to 8 p.m. Mark your calendars. I know you're excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. You know, we've been fortunate enough to have Worm on all season and to, kind of get some normalcy back and, come and enjoy a nice evening, get some drinks, have some dinner, and talk some Steeler football. I think that that's any Yinzer's dream. And, man, it's been great, man. Worm's been killing it this season, and he's just such a great guy. And, again, I can't say how fortunate we're enough to have the Chris Wormley Show on yinzercrazy.com.
Yeah, hold up that flyer for me if you've got it. Listen, if you're joining us tonight, I know there's a lot running through your mind. We're going to get to it. We're going to talk about Melvin Ingram, the trade, of course, that happened today, and about how disgruntled he was potentially in the locker room. We're going to talk about the win over the Browns, how that felt for an Ohio guy like Chris Wormley. We're going to, of course, preview Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears, and hopefully the Steelers do not have a letdown game, the quote-unquote letdown game. They're 0-3 in their last 3 games against the Bears, JY. So we're always looking forward to that. Of course, we're looking forward to SteelCityWheelhouse.com as well. It's where the bar is set. You got it on your shirt. JY, tell them a little bit more about their 2 locations, one of our wonderful sponsors.
So Steel City Wheelhouse is awesome. If you have any auto customization needs, they are the place to go. You can literally get tires there and pay for them later. They have rims, They have stereo systems, detailing, whatever you need, alignment, whatever you need, they are the one-stop shop. Just ask for John, tell him Yinzer Crazy sent you. And yeah, man, we're really fortunate to have them on board because anything with the name Steel City in it goes along with Yinzer Crazy. And we are very fortunate to have them. And it is where the bar is set. So go check them out. You'll see them in a lot of the things, the promotions that we do. And they are awesome. Meadowlands and Imperial, there are 2 locations. And yeah, man, go check them out. Steel City Wheelhouse, #1 auto customization in the Burgh. Where the bar is set, as my shirt says.
That's a great T-shirt, and this is a great T-shirt as well. The early bird does get the worm. We're the early birds. We got Chris Wormley. These are going to be available at our live show on 11/16 at Cafe Note. Come on out and hang out with myself, JY, and Chris Wormley. Get yourself one of these shirts. All of the proceeds that night that go towards these shirts are going to be directed to Cuddles for Kids, a great local Pittsburgh charity. We're really happy to support them and happy to support you guys, bringing some happiness with the Pittsburgh Steeler on board. Let's bring him in right now. What do you say? The Pittsburgh Steelers, number 95, defensive lineman, Chris Wormley.
What's up, everybody? We are back with the man himself, number 95, Big Worm. And the big question that everyone wants to know is, how was your Halloween?
Thank you for asking. We got back from Cleveland right around 7:00, and my daughter had already made her rounds around the neighborhood, but we got to squeak in a 2 or 3 houses to say that I helped out with the trick-or-treating, but it was good, man. She got a lot of candy. By the time I got there, she was hyped up on Rice Krispies and Kit Kats, and then by the time she went to bed, she was crashing pretty hard. So she got the full effect of Halloween, the ups and downs of the sugar rushes. So she enjoyed herself.
So obviously, you got the big win in Cleveland. The defense held the Browns to 10 points. What contributed to that? What were you guys able to do to, come out of there victorious?
Our biggest thing was stopping the run, and we knew that Nick Chubb was one of the best backs in the league. He was probably their best player on offense, and we needed to stop him. And for the most part, we did. I think they ended up with maybe 90 yards rushing, and our goal is to always limit them to less than 100, and we did that. They had that one rushing touchdown, and Chubb got a couple big runs here and there. but for the most part, we stopped them, and we stopped them when we needed to. So that was big for us, and that was our number one goal, especially as a D-line. We wanted to stop that run and make it known that that was our goal, and that's what we came to do when we went to Cleveland.
Yeah. So once again, you sacked Baker Mayfield. What was that? Take us back to that play again. I mean, I was screaming at my TV. So
yeah, it was in the second quarter, and they had kind of had some momentum here and there. They drove the ball a couple times, and it was just one of those plays where it wasn't the best pass rush move or the best defensive blitz call to set up a sack, but there was some pressure with Bugs, kind of flush him to his left a little bit. And I kind of looped around Bugs and got the sack. But, yeah, two out of the last 3 games I've sacked Baker. And, that's always fun, especially in the division, especially making a big play like that when the team needed it is always nice to contribute.
Like you said in your tweet, I think it's always good, especially for you to win in Ohio.
No doubt. Yeah, it never happened in college. And then, getting to the league, it's been fun to win in Cincinnati. And it's always a hell of a lot of fun to win in Cleveland as well.
Definitely.
Chris, you mentioned that your daughter, Spade, was lucky enough to get Kit Kats and Rice Krispies. Dude, that is the dynamic duo. That's like the Cam Hayward and Chris Wormley of candy. Am I allowed to say that? I think my new nickname for you guys, your defensive front, is the Sugar Rush.
Oh man, I like that. That's something we can do for sure. I know you're big into nicknames and things like that, so we can stick with that. We can stick with the Sugar Rush for now. But yeah, she was all about the candy. It was her first time really kind of diving into the spirit of Halloween and getting all the candy that she could ever dream of. And we tried to keep it away from her, but she kind of peeks in the pantry here and there and tries to snag a few. But she enjoyed herself a whole lot that Sunday evening.
That's the best. And yes, it is kind of my shtick over here. So you absolutely nailed that. All right, let's go back to the game a little bit. I have a question for you, Chris Wormley. Have you ever kicked a football through the uprights?
I think I have done it, maybe extra point in high school, just messing around once or twice. Definitely a toe kicker, front of the big toe. Not a whole lot of flight, not a lot of height. And so if you were to ask me to go out there and kick, my answer would be no.
So no part of you was like, hey, Coach T, hey, Danny Smith, let me put on my helmet and try and kick this thing through the goalposts.
Nope, I was not a willing volunteer, as Tom likes to say.
All right, so we can officially break the news that Chris Wormley is not an emergency kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is a good thing that we heard that Josh Lambo was signed. And obviously our well wishes go out to Chris Boswell after taking a really tough hit on that fake field goal attempt. Had a great sense of humor about it. I don't know if you saw his Instagram post. Said he would try to go as a quarterback for Halloween, and then he got spooked. Didn't really work. Always good to see a sense of humor in that situation, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a lot scarier than what it was. He took a pretty mean hit. Looked like it was, targeting helmet-to-helmet type of play. Yeah. Obviously, the penalty didn't get called. Obviously, we didn't get any points out of that drive. Obviously, that trick play that we ran was not our finest moment of the game. But luckily, it didn't hurt us. We came away with a 5-point victory. And on to Chicago. And like you said, I think Boz is going to be fine for the game, but obviously he has to go through concussion protocol and all that stuff. But as a kicker that doesn't get touched too much, I think he's going to be all right.
Hey, I know that was all very lighthearted, at least Boswell's Instagram posts, but I got to transition to the big news of the day, which is not so much lighthearted. Obviously, Melvin Ingram traded to the Chiefs. Coach Tomlin said that some things just don't work out as they're initially planned. As a guy in that locker room, in the same front seven as him on defense, I just want to get your take on him being shipped out.
Yeah, I think initially when he came during camp, we were excited for him. Former Pro Bowler, made a lot of plays in the league, and was with the Chargers for the last 10 years. And when he got here, we were excited. He showed that he was that former first rounder, that former Pro Bowler, and showed flashes. But with when you got guys like TJ and Highsmith, who's emerging as a really good not only run stopper but pass rusher as well, and someone like Melvin, who I think expected to play a little more. I think for him and maybe even for us, it was the best situation to get him out of here. Hopefully he enjoys Kansas City. I know their defense can use some pass rushers along with Frank Clark and Chris Jones. Those two guys that were killing it last night. So him going there is gonna help that pass rush even more so than it is. As good as they are now, it's going to be even better with him there. I wish him all the best of luck. He was a great teammate for us, in the locker room, practice and all that stuff. But sometimes things just don't work out, and the marriage has to end a little early.
Understandable. Well said. At the same time, it opens up some more playing time for your guy, JY. What day is it?
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Charlton. And you know what? You guys had a great picture after the Browns game. You shared the same field defensively. What have you guys kind of talked about, and how fun has that been over the past week?
Yeah, he even, a couple weeks ago when he first got here, kind of challenged me a little bit and was asking why I haven't got any sacks. And he said, did you kind of leave those at Michigan? He was giving me some shit a little bit. And then the last 2 weeks, I got a half sack the Seahawks game, and then obviously the sack against Baker this week. But it was great seeing him suit up for us. First time since 2017 or 2016 since we've been together on the same field. I know he has a lot to prove, and I'm just excited to help him along the way, get him more acclimated to the defense and into the city, and continue this for the next 10 weeks. We got a lot of ball left, and I know he's going to be a big part of it.
Taco hit you with some fire sauce with that one, man. I'm sorry, I got to get in. This is not a plug for Taco Bell. I'm a big Taco Bell guy, as terrible as that is. I'd be better off eating 7 pounds of Halloween food, in all honesty. I want to ask you about one more Michigan guy, because I was really curious about this. Obviously, you're familiar with Zach Gentry, and this is a dude in 2015 that came to the Wolverines as a quarterback. You were there. You kind of saw the transition a little bit. Now he's catching huge passes in a divisional game on a Sunday for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just talk kind of about that, transition and trajectory that you've been able to watch as a teammate of Zach. Some people might not remember that, for quite some time now. Yeah,
so I was with Zach for 2 years, and he was the highest, I think, recruited player coming out of high school out of New Mexico. He's from Albuquerque, so we had a lot of buzz coming in. Obviously, I don't think New Mexico produces that great of talent football year in and year out. But when you got a guy that's 6'7", 6'8" quarterback that could run a 4.5, we're thinking, man, this could be the next Kaepernick who Jim Harbaugh was coached in the Super Bowl with the 49ers. So we're thinking, man, this is going to be the quarterback that we're looking for, that we need for this new offense with Jim. That first year we had him. Things didn't work out. He switched to tight end, and you could see that he was flashing a little bit. Obviously, he got drafted 5th round, so he had a successful career at Michigan as a tight end, switching over. And then I don't think he played a whole lot his first year. And last year, you could see flashes in camp, and then he got hurt. I think he tore his MCL kind of midway through the season last year, and that set him back into the whole season. And this year, he was kind of designated as that blocking tight end. He's, like I said, 6'7". I think he's maybe 280 now. So he's bigger than probably every tight end in the league now, and bigger than a lot of the outside linebackers. That 4-3 type of end that he's asked and has been asked to block all season. And I think he's done a great job. And now that he can, catch those big passes in the middle of the field and run for 20 yards, some of those little slip screens that they've been running have been a nice little flash for him. I know he has the athleticism, so it's just been fun to see him kind of flash what he can do in his 3rd year, and it's been fun to watch him not just block people, but to catch and receive and make some moves and make some big plays on the field.
I dug up an old quote, and somebody asked him about the transition to tight end. He said, "It was completely foreign to me. I was a guy in practice as a quarterback that you weren't allowed to touch. Now I'm having to block Taco Charlton and Chris Wormley." So how poetic is that, JY? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. So we'll shift gears. That is some good stuff, man. I love the Michigan talk. So you guys have the Bears primetime Monday night. Talk about what lies ahead when you look at that game.
Yeah, I think you got to look at Justin Fields. I think he had a lot of hype coming out of college. Obviously, Ohio State, first rounder, the type of things that he can do in the air and on the ground with his feet. Obviously, he's still a rookie, still learning, but you could see flashes of what the type of player that he can be. He had maybe even his best game last week, and they still lost. But he's been playing hard. He's been playing He's been playing hard. He's been playing good. I think that kind of starts there for him. So we got to watch a lot of film on him, seeing how we can contain him in the pocket. And then you look kind of on the outside with Robinson as a receiver. I think he's one of the best receivers when he's at his best. And they have a pretty solid offensive line. I know Jason Peters is on that left tackle side. He's been in the league for a long time. Made a lot of big plays as an offensive lineman that you normally don't see as a normal viewer. But he's one of the best over the last 15 years. So on that side of the ball, I think the biggest thing is going to be stopping Justin Fields, the quarterback, and we'll go from there.
So that means you're probably going to want to sack him because he's a former Ohio State Buckeye. So that means another sack.
Well, yeah, obviously that's the goal no matter who the quarterback is. But when you have an Ohio State quarterback, there's not too many in the league. So when you get that chance, you got to take it and make it count.
Definitely.
No question about it. Worm, you touched on it. This is another multi-dimensional quarterback. Obviously, he can beat you through the air and with his legs. Similar kind of in a Josh Allen mold, the guy that you saw in week 1, obviously. What's the dialogue like? I know you can't get too in-depth. You don't want to give away a game plan, but what is the dialogue like in those meeting rooms when you have a guy that can beat you with his legs like Justin Fields can?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, at least for a D-line, is not the design QB keep runs or the QB draw runs. It's going to be those drop back in the pocket. There's nothing there, and he's going to take off. So we have to be really detailed on our rush lanes as a defensive line. We can't have those big open gaps. We can't have 3 defensive linemen to one side of the center and have that big gap up in the middle. We have to be really, I think, patient with the moves that TJ and Alex do on the outside. If they're going to come inside, we got to have guys be able to cover them on the outside or be very calculated on how we move as a defensive line. I think is going to be our biggest thing when he doesn't have anything down the field and he wants to set up in the pocket and take off and run.
Looking forward to it, no question. I want to remind everybody that you guys are watching the Chris Wormley Show, brought to you by YinzerCrazy.com. We're also brought to you by Case Specific Meal Prep. Check them out, CSMPPGH.com. It is busy season in Pittsburgh. You're trying to get the kids dressed up for Halloween, and you're getting ready for Thanksgiving, taking them to school, and you're trying to watch the Chris Wormley Show all at the same time. Get yourself an efficient, easy meal prep service like Case Specific Meal Prep. Check them out, the best meal prep service in the 412. Okay. It is about time for one of our favorite games, Worm Association. I know we already touched a little bit on Justin Fields and Allen Robinson, Penn State guy, obviously another Big Ten guy who I was going to ask you about. But let's shift gears a little bit and ask about 2 Khalils. I think that's kind of what's on my mind currently. We'll start on your side of the ball with Khalil Mack. Give us a few thoughts on him.
I mean, he's one of the best outside rushers. I think you can put him in that category with TJ and Myles Garrett. Von Miller, obviously, too. Big trade to the Rams today or yesterday, one of the two. But he's one of the best when he's at the top of his game. And I think it's as a defensive line and as a defender, it's you watch players like that, when you're not playing and they're on the the Monday night games or Sunday night games. So obviously, I don't want him to sack Ben, but he's that type of player that can wreck games. And I think if you could put one word, it'd be game wrecker.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Is there a part of you as an NFL player that sees a trade like that and you're just like, what the heck? Did you text a teammate and you're like, did you see this? Did Von Miller really just get traded to the Rams? Not that we have to touch on that for a while. I'm just curious what an NFL player's mind goes through when something like that happens. A blockbuster.
They've been doing that, the Rams, for the last 3 or 4 years now, making those big time trades. And just means that they're pushing all their coins in the middle, all their chips to the middle, and they're trying to go all out for a Super Bowl this year, which I think is kind of maybe like the NBA a little bit. They bring those big name people and go all in for a championship for 3 or 4 years. So I think that's what the Rams are doing. That's going to be a hell of a D-line when you look at Aaron Donald and him, and obviously on the other side of the ball with Matt Stafford and the way he's playing and Cooper Kupp. It's they got some talent over there for sure.
Second best D-line in the league, we will call them over here at YinzerCrazy.com. The D-line this week obviously is going to have some challenges once again stopping the run game. I mentioned the name Khalil Mack. There's a running back out of Virginia Tech who's a rookie. His name's Khalil Herbert. This guy's been tearing up the league. What do you know about him? And talk about that challenge.
Yeah, I think he's had a really solid season. I think he runs hard. I think he can make you miss. He can break tackles, And as a running back, that's what you kind of want to do. You want to make that first guy miss. You want to make those arm tackles miss. And as a guy like him, who's kind of come onto the scene, now it's going to be a challenge for us. And I think our game plan last week with Chubb, it might be pretty similar to stopping this run. But I think we have a good blueprint. I think we have showed a lot of people that we can stop the run when we need to, and we're going to try and keep that going forward for the next 10 weeks.
All right, Worm, I know we've had a real sugar rush of a show. It's been a sugar high talking about Kit Kats and Rice Krispies, but we got to bring you down just a little bit. I'm sorry, man. It's like when you pull an apple out of a trick-or-treat basket or a toothbrush, right? You don't want to be that house. We got to talk about the tough L Michigan football had this past Saturday, of course, at the hands of your rival, Michigan State, one of many rivals, I should say, 37-33 in a game which they led the entire way. Do you have to wear or do something for Justin Lane this week or something like that, or even a Cody White?
Yeah, so I was leaving the facility today, and I saw Cody, and we had talked after the game. He was talking shit or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'm bringing my Michigan State gear tomorrow. So you got to put it on and take a picture. I'm like, I don't remember that bet at all. He swore up and down that I had bet him, and I'm usually pretty good about bets. I paid Cam right away when we bet Saturday because his brother plays. He put Connor Hayward plays for the Spartans, and I have no recollection of betting Cody White. So I'll trust him, and I'll put on the green gear. I'm not sure what he's going to want me to do with it, but yeah, it was a sour game. We were on the bus on the Ohio Turnpike. The connection was terrible on my phone trying to watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, they were up 16 with less than a quarter and a half to go, and when the defense can't stop the run, let up 5 rushing touchdowns. Obviously that running back is having a phenomenal year, Walker. But as a D lineman, that you kind of cringe a little bit. But they need a little help. But I think that they can run the table these next 6 weeks or 5 weeks, and put themselves in a good position. I know that they obviously wanted to beat the Spartans, but they got Indiana at night this coming Saturday, and that'll be a good game too.
Yeah, you said it. A lot of goals that they wanted still left in front of them. That'll happen when you still have Penn State and Ohio State on the schedule. Of course, that game can flip the switch a little bit if they're able to pull win against the Buckeyes and make Cam Hayward sad, unfortunately, in that one, Worm.
Yes.
All right. I think that's about it today for the Chris Wormley Show. It has been a pleasure. Chris, I'd imagine that you're going to go finish off some of Spade's Halloween candy. Is it still any left?
There is. I haven't touched any in a couple days, and she hasn't either. So there's a good amount, and we have probably 30 or 40 king size candy bars laying around the house too from what we were passing out. So those are going to the facility tomorrow. I can't keep that around the house, but yeah, I'm gonna go snack on a little bit with dinner. So and watch The Bachelorette in a half hour with the wife. So we'll busy night, but gonna relax and enjoy it.
I'm in that same boat. JY, you might have to stop over Chris Wormley's and take some of those candy bars off his hand.
I'll be at the dentist tomorrow if I do that.
Yeah, you ain't lying when it comes to that. No question. It is always a good time here on the Chris Wormley Show, brought to you by YinzerCrazy.com. Hey, if he eats all that candy, it might be Zach Gentry size the next time we see him. You never know. Chris, as always, good luck against the Bears. We can't wait to watch. Thank you so much for doing this, and stay healthy, man.
Appreciate you, fellas. Thank you.
Yins are crazy. This is it right here. Yins are crazy. So pit, oh yeah. Yins are crazy. This is it right here. Yins are crazy.
I know yins are crazy, but so am I. Number one sports site in the burg. Let me show you why. The latest stories in unbeatable podcast with your favorite athletes. You know you can't pause that. Super Bowl, World Series, Stanley Cup champs. Rising stars, Berg personalities for the fans. We love our city, always Pittsburgh proud. When you're at your job or while you got your cell phones out. Breaking down the touchdown, goals and home runs. Predictions and interview, who does it like us? No one. Cheering on the Berg squads, no pom-pom. Don't know by now it's YinzerCrazy.com.